Donald Trump was on the Full Send podcast, and they had Trump go through and comment on each of the most well-known late night or talk show hosts. And what you are going to find interesting in this clip that I'm about to show you is how Trump has a story about each and every one of them and exposes how each of them turned on him once he got involved in politics. Listen to this.
We wanted to do this with you. The talk show hosts, are they great, or do we need to make them great again and kind of go one by one here?
Oh, he's terrible. He's
great or great again, Jimmy Kimmel?
Well, he's not, he's not. First of all, they all have bad ratings. The one that's the most successful.
So Jimmy Kimmel, we got to make him great again?
Well, Jimmy Kimmel's a loser. Look, we would do Jimmy Kimmel. I do Jimmy Kimmel. I did him a lot.
Yeah.
He used to greet me on the sidewalk outside of his studio. I'd come in. This was before politics, of course. But I'd come in, and he'd be standing on the sidewalk. Oh, sir, may I bring you in? He'd bring me in every time. And then I ran for politics. I never, got involved with him much. But
switch up.
all they do is talk bad about Trump. That's all. The whole show is talking bad about Trump. Yeah. They're all equally bad. But we'll go through the View. I know them. So Whoopi's a filthy mouth on her. I've hired Whoopi over the years, at hotels that I own. We hired her once, and I went. She was so filthy, disgusting, dirty with her mouth that the whole group left. There was nobody watching her. She was a comedian. And you know what? Nobody knows this. She said, I admire you so much. Would you do me a favor, what? Would you do a cameo in a movie I'm making? I did a cameo in some crummy movie she made. And then I run for politics. Joy is, she thought the world was flat. You saw that, right? Joy is dumb. The other one worked for me. She wrote a letter. One of them, whatever her name is. She worked for me in the White House. She writes a letter. This was the greatest experience. You're the greatest president. I love you. You're the greatest president. There's nobody. We have the letter someplace. It's a letter that she wrote when she left the White House. Then all of a sudden they hire her and she goes negative. Okay, they said, hey, we'll give you a lot of money if you go negative, whatever her name is. Let's see, the other two I didn't know. Oh, this guy I know, Jimmy Fallon. I'm telling you, I hate to use, but they're all losers. They're all lightweights, though. This guy, so I'm on his show before politics many times, but him and before him, it makes you realize how great Johnny Carson was, actually. That's the only thing, because there's nothing to watch. Their ratings are horrible. They're cutting him back to 4 days, which is, can you imagine cutting Johnny Carson back to 4 days? That didn't happen. But Johnny Carson, I grew up with him and others that were very talented. These people, so Jimmy Fallon asks me if he could do one thing. Could he play with my hair? And I said, what do you want to do that for? I want to see if it's real. It is real, but if you have to do it, you can do it. So he didn't just play. He puts his hand in my hair, and he went crazy. And the audience went wild, and they loved it. And that was the end of that. And it played, and he got very high ratings on the show. 6 months later, he stood up. He was the radical left went after him because they humanized me. And 6 months later, he goes up on the show, and he said, I'd like to apologize for doing that. I didn't realize I was going to humanize. He was a nice guy. And he was doing badly, but now he's doing much worse. He lost his whole audience when he did that. Another loser is Howard Stern.
When he's on that list, yeah.
When he left me, because I dropped him, I didn't want to do a show anymore. Howard Stern, because he was considering Hillary. He's not for Hillary, but he wanted to be politically correct or something. Didn't work out too well. His show's practically dead, I think. I don't know. I mean, I haven't heard his name in years, but now he did an interview with her. It was so sad. He's like asking her all these easy questions, like written out. Oh, and what do you think about this? And what do you think about that? And it's just a different guy. I used to do a show. I had numerous of his top 10 shows ever. They had a top 10 list.
Right.
Today, I understand they disbanded the list because I was on it so much.
Donald Trump was a media favorite until he got into office, and he was a regular on all of these late night and talk shows. Oprah even gushed over him and pressed him on running for president in what has now become a famous and viral interview. Now, all they do is hate on him. And why is that? Because Trump went against the establishment. Trump turned on the elite and celebrity class, and in response, they have made it their objective to destroy him. We don't talk about this enough, but most people wouldn't do this. Most people wouldn't trade their status at the top and being liked and admired by just about everyone who the world deems important to do what Trump did. Trump's net worth was $4.5 billion in 2016. It dropped as soon as he took office and went down to $2.5 billion in 2023. The only reason it rebounded and is back up now is because Trump started the Trump Media Group, which he started in response to all of the attacks against him in 2021, and this went public on the NASDAQ this year. This is a man who refuses to back down to those who have gotten rich off the backs of the American people. If those who hate America, hate God, hate men, hate the nuclear family, also hate Trump, well, you just have to ask yourself, what side are you on?